Many a great player has never won the World Cup, and it seems ever more likely that Lionel Messi will end up on that list. Messi's Argentina was overrun and outmaneuvered by a French team full of skill, speed, youth and, for the first time in this tournament, goals. Kazan, Russia. Many a great player has never won the World Cup, and it seems ever more likely that Lionel Messi will end up on that list. He is 31 now, still a master of the close quarters dribble and the quick strike. But his supporting cast in Argentina looks weaker by the World Cup, and on a near cloudless day, Messi and his teammates were overrun and outmaneuvered by a French team full of skill, speed, youth and, for the first time in this tournament, goals. The final score was 4-3 for France in the opening round of 16 match of the tournament. Our team is younger, it's true, but it responded with character against a strong, very experienced Argentine team, Didier Deschamps, France's coach, said. We didn't stop fighting. We did everything to get past this step. I'm, above all, responsible when things don't go well. I am delighted for the players. For months, we've thought of matches like this one. You can't miss these opportunities, and we didn't. In a World Cup in which minor miracles have become routine in the final minutes, Argentina never stopped pushing for the equalizer. But France and its fast-emerging superstar, 19-year-old Kylian Mbappé, who scored twice and drew a penalty to create a third goal, had put the Argentines in too deep a hole by then, roaring back from a 2-1 deficit early in the second half. Les Blues did it with 3 goals in a fireworks-filled 11-minute span that will be the talk of their country's cafes and bistros until the French play their quarter-final game next week, against either Uruguay or Portugal. All the best players are at the World Cup, Mbappé said. It's the chance to show what we know how to do and to show our abilities. There's no better place than the World Cup. Though France had won Group C, it had done so in underwhelming fashion, scoring just 3 goals in 3 games and looking disjointed as Deschamps searched for the right combinations. But Argentina, no longer home to the world's best and most rugged defenders, gave Mbappé, Antoine Griezmann and Olivier Giroud more room to roam on Saturday, which was surely not part of the Argentine game plan. Mbappé made the threat clear from the start. He wanted the ball and wanted to bear the burden. And early in the game, he broke out of the French half after an Argentine error and found a gear that none of his pursuers could match. It was a surge best watched on a screen if you wanted to see the deep concern in the Argentines' eyes, but best watched in Kazan Arena if you wanted to grasp just how much ground Mbappé was able to cover in such a short span. Marcos Rojo, the defender who had put Argentina into the knockout round with a late goal against Nigeria, finally brought Mbappé down with a push from behind in the Argentine penalty area. Referee Alireza Fagani did not hesitate to award the penalty and refreshingly felt no need to review his decision on a screen of his own. Griezmann converted the penalty kick with a low bouncing shot down the middle as goalkeeper Franco Armani guessed wrong and dived left. That gave France a 1-0 lead in the 13th minute. It held until the 41st minute when Angel Di Maria, the Argentine forward, was left unmarked about 30 yards from France's goal. He had time to make 2 touches before letting loose with a left-footed strike that curled away from goalkeeper Hugo Lloris and nestled into the upper right corner to make it 1-1. It was a gorgeous goal, and at halftime, any outcome seemed possible, particularly with Messi yet to make his mark. And in the 48th minute, he created Argentina's only lead of the afternoon. French midfielder Paul Pogba cleared a free kick from the French goalmouth. The ball bounced to Messi on the edge of the penalty area, and with Blaise Matuidi marking him closely, Messi shifted direction quickly with his back to the goal and fired a low, left-footed shot that Lloris looked set to handle. But Lloris did not count on Gabriel Mercado, the Argentine defender, redirecting the shot with his left foot. Lloris was unable to change direction in time, and Argentina had a 2-1 edge. It was time, after all the anticipation surrounding this French team, to see what it was truly made of, and its World Cup rookies were the ones who provided the goals and the answers. France had struggled earlier in the tournament to attack from the wings. But in the 57th minute, Lucas Hernandez hit a left-footed cross that bounced through the Argentine defense after a missed clearance from Nicolas Tagliafico. Benjamin Pavard, France's curly-haired right-back, closed on it and first-timed it from about 22 yards with his right foot while leaning far to his left. The physics at work were compelling on their own, and the ball traveled with side spin into the left corner of the Argentine goal, beating a fully extended Armani. Pavard, a 22-year-old who plays for VfB Stuttgart in the German Bundesliga, had not been expected to start in this World Cup, much less provide one of its finest goals. But he has earned Deschamps' trust in a hurry with his composure and versatility. Mbappe's success at this level is much less of a surprise. He is one of the world's most expensive players after his move from Monaco to Paris Saint-Germain last year. "I'm very happy he's French," Deschamps said. "He understands football very well, and it's not today that I'm going to say the contrary." In an important match, he showed all his talent. Even if he had to defend, that didn't keep him from attacking very well. He is the fleet threat who was missing from France's attack in the 2014 World Cup, when it reached the quarter-finals. Those who remember France's triumph in 1998 compare him to Thierry Henry, who was of similar age when he made his World Cup debut on the wing. But Mbappe is a more mature and complete threat at 19, and he can hurt you with skill as well as speed. He made that clear in the 64th minute after another Hernandez cross that ended up loose in the penalty area after a Matuidi shot was blocked. Mbappe collected it, evaded Federico Fazio and beat Armani low to his left before the goalie could drop his left hand to parry the shot. It was 3-2 in favor of France, and it would be 4-2 just 4 minutes later when France again counterattacked effectively out of its half, connecting on a series of passes, Griezmann to Matuidi to Giroud, who led Mbappe with a ball that not everyone would have reached. But Mbappe, in full stride, got there before Fazio, and scored with his right foot, this time low to Armani's right. Mbappe is the youngest player since Pelé in 1958 to score at least 2 goals in a World Cup game. "It's flattering to be second to Pelé," Mbappe said. "But we're going to put things in context. Pelé, that's another category. Argentina missed goalkeeper Sergio Romero in this World Cup. The Manchester United player, who was a key figure in Argentina's run to the World Cup final in 2014, was ruled out with a knee injury in May. But then Argentina and its embattled coach, Jorge Sampaoli, were missing a number of elements. And though the team would hardly stop pushing and even got a headed goal in the 3rd minute of stoppage time on Saturday from Sergio Aguero, it ultimately was too vulnerable at the back and not quite decisive enough at the front. "It's very painful to be out of the World Cup after all the effort the players made," said Sampaoli, who said he could not yet answer whether he intended to continue as coach. Messi produced 2 assists on Saturday, the first Argentine player to do so in a World Cup game since Diego Maradona in 1986. But Messi, one of the most productive scorers in the long history of the sport, has still yet to score in a knockout game at the World Cup. The French generally controlled him effectively, with both their central defenders, Raphael Varane and Samuel Umtiti, very familiar with the danger he posed. Varane has faced Messi frequently at Real Madrid. Umtiti has faced him frequently as his teammate at Barcelona. But it took a collective effort with all 10 French field players often contributing to keep the defense compact enough in the French half to deprive Messi of the space he needs to create. He did manufacture a chance in the 80th minute, a fine chance, but after splitting 2 defenders and earning the opportunity to fire a right-footed shot deep in French territory, his strike lacked the necessary angle or speed. Lloris collected it without much fuss, and now Messi, who has already retired once from international soccer, looks very likely to join that unfortunate list of stars who never won a World Cup. It's a list that includes Johan Cruyff, Ferenc Puskas, Michel Platini, Zico, Paolo Maldini and Eusebio. Messi's longtime teammate Javier Mascherano, 34, a defender, announced his retirement from the national team after Saturday's defeat. "From now on, I'm just another fan," said Mascherano, who holds the Argentine career record with 147 caps. "It was a crazy match," he continued. "We didn't start well. We came back, but when they equalized at 2-2, that really hurt us. But we can't criticize ourselves. When you give it all, you can't criticize yourself." Messi will be 35 when the next World Cup is played, in 2022 in Qatar. Mbappe will be 23, and as Messi glumly walked in the direction of the tunnel after the final whistle on Saturday, Mbappe was the first Frenchman to offer him condolences. Passing of the torch. We will see, but there was no doubt which outrageous talent burned brightest on Saturday.